All right, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time it is, wherever in this world it is that you are. Welcome once more to another live stream of streamer analysis in conjunction with IP2 Wiki Info and Streamerparents. We are simulcasting on all three platforms today. I'm your hostess, Alexandra, and I guess before we get started, I'll go ahead and issue a trigger warning. Trigger warning to those of you who are sensitive to verbal threats of violence. But I definitely did need to go ahead and get this particular video or live stream out there because the individual who is a live streamer who's outlined on rumoredpedo.com, there will be more information added soon. The individual known as Zaya, he is definitely amplifying. He has issued yet another threat of violence, including reference to a firearm to Carissa's dad, someone known as Gary. There's a lot of people very concerned about this situation, and as people clip more of his threats, I will present them as I receive them. Because I think Zaya is definitely going to follow through. I do believe him to be extensively mentally ill. What makes the situation even more dangerous is that he has a sizable fan base encouraging him, egging him on, donating resources to him. It's bad. Unfortunately, Carissa has a lot of haters to where they have diminished the situation. They've discredited her. I think in a lot of situations that she's contended with when it comes to Zaya, she's actually been afraid to approach law enforcement, which is why some of us out there, whether you like Carissa or not, if you at least care about children, you need to report to the Staten Island Law Enforcement Agency, their police office, what is going on. They need pictures of this guy, they need clips of this guy. They need to know everything because he's already come to her home, actually both residences that she's lived in, New York and Florida. And he's brought his girlfriend, public figure Amanda Artaud, with him. His target is not, from my perspective, in actuality, Carissa. I believe his target, in actuality, to be her daughter. I do believe that Zaya is inappropriately sexually attracted to minors. It's been proven that he is, being that he was talking to a girl who was a minor, and the moment that she turned 18, he engaged in intimate relations with her. He was already a full-fledged adult. But let's go ahead and look at this latest clip. It is disturbing. Let's go ahead and bring this up. And here we go.
Me with the camera and the niggas giving me smoke, nigga. I'm moving back. I'm moving back. I'm moving back. You know what?
Okay, so just for context, this was clipped, I believe, yesterday, which would have been December 13th. I don't know if this was broadcast on the 12th or the 13th. He's specifically talking about approaching Carissa's dad, Gary. I'm sorry, Gary is not only Carissa's dad, but he's a grandfather to her child and probably his other children's children also. This is all taking place in the Staten Island, New York area. I think that this man's intent is to eliminate Gary from the picture so that, like with many other women that he's fixated on, he can romance and move into Carissa's residence. This guy has a lot of debt. He doesn't seem to be able to procure a residence on his own without a woman. In fact, one of the first residences that he started routinely streaming out of was procured by the little girl who he groomed until she was 18. He had her signing on his ETC live streaming LLC paperwork. So she was probably the one to get where they lived also, because I think his credit is shot or something. I don't really know. But what I do want all of you to do is listen to what he has to say. He tends to use the streaming as a shield when it comes to his violence and his criminal activity. He wants to say that he's an entertainer. Absolutely, he is not. He is a scam artist, a con artist, and a criminal who, for the most part, targets women with little girls maliciously. He targets single women maliciously, and he targets the elderly maliciously. He has created kind of like a barrier around himself of single moms of sons that is for plausible deniability. His targets in actuality for sexual deviance and sexual violence appear to be minor age girls, which is why he, if possible, avoids women with the daughters. But he has been fixated on Carissa specifically for a lot of reasons, because she would draw a lot of interest to his channel. That's one reason. But also because both Carissa and her daughter have a look, meaning a physical appearance, that parallels that of one of his first victims, Katie. You'd have to see some pictures of Katie to understand what I'm saying, but I'm on point when I say that. So I'm just going to rewind and just listen to what he has to say.
Why? When you see me with the camera and the niggas giving me smoke, nigga, I'm moving back. I'm moving back. I'm moving back. You know why? Because at some point in time, that footage is going to save me.
If this man approaches you, of course, if you're able to get away, run. Get away. He routinely does carry a firearm in his backpack, a backpack that he always carries with him. Okay? I've contended with this man before in person. I did not intend to. Without prior arrangement, he stalked me in Orlando, and he had the backpack with the gun. If you cannot immediately get away, and if you're able to do so safely, disable his streaming device.
Officer's going to say, but I'm saying though, like, what was going on? Like, couldn't you be the, remember the Officer Walker? Couldn't you be the bigger man? And walked away. I did. Look at the camera.
But see, here's the thing. He's claiming that he was the quote unquote bigger man and walked away from the target that he's talking about here. He seeks out the targets, and it's not for entertainment purposes. Like I was saying, he uses the streaming as an excuse and as a shield for his criminal violent behavior. Everyone who he has targeted has said, stay away from me, get away from me, I don't want to deal with you, go away. But he stalks, he pursues. So he's never the bigger man to walk away. He is actively stalking with premeditated intent, premeditated stalking. He is stalking Gary, Carissa's dad. That is what you need to be aware of. And at the end of this, after I do a commentary, I will play this whole clip through.
I'm backing up. That person is still engaging towards me. He's still coming towards me, right? And but now it's different because Gary's going to shoot me. So if I am out,
Now you heard what he just said there. Gary's gonna shoot me. He believes that Gary is going to shoot him. Well, if you approach Gary, in a malicious, violent way, which you've already publicly stated you're going to do, Gary has a right to defend himself. But again, Gary is an elderly man. This man that we're looking at is about, well, he claims to be 44. He does strangely look older than his age, as does his associate known as Sandman, which is very unusual for men of color. Neither of them are black or African American, but they are men of color, being that they're designated as Hispanics or Latinos. For the most part, Hispanic Latino men, especially if they have a light or deeper olive complexion, do not age rapidly. For some reason, even though this man claims to be in his 40s, he appears more so to be someone approaching 50. This guy, Sandman, even though he claims to be in his late 30s, he appears to be somebody in his mid 40s to late 40s. It's very strange, and I think that it's because neither man was in actuality born in the United States. I think that they were brought over as children and their birthdays were pushed back. They let what we think are their government names likely are not. But let's rewind that a bit. I want all of you to hear what he has to say in regards to Gary.
But now it's different because Gary's going to shoot me. So if I'm outside and I'm live streaming and Gary comes towards me, I'm going to move back, right?
But why would you be outside live streaming anywhere Gary would be? There's no need. You are stalking him. This is an instance of premeditated stalking.
At some point, I don't have to retreat. We're in Florida. That is to stand your ground. That's the part. I don't have to retreat.
So his plan is to try to approach Gary in Florida. Okay, this is what law enforcement needs to know. Premeditated stalking. He's already thinking about the location. He wants to approach Gary in Florida. He always carries a firearm in his backpack. He's going to use the streaming as an excuse to approach Gary. He wants to create a situation to where he's able to claim self-defense, meaning Zaya. But it's not self-defense. He is actively, maliciously targeting Gary because truthfully, Gary really is the only hindrance between Zaya and Zaya's intent of hurting Carissa's daughter.
Okay? If at some point, if I deem you as dangerous, which it's already deemed, your daughter said you're going to shoot me. Okay? So I already have it. It's already programmed in here.
So he's already aware that there is a possibility that if he continues his premeditated stalking of Carissa, her dad, and her dad is going to defend his family. But this guy wants to act as though he would just be a victim who's an entertainer who live streams. No. And what this man, Zaya, I think may have forgotten about is that he has a track record of approaching streamers with a gun in his backpack without their consent. I can attest to that. Some other people can attest to that too. But this is dangerous. This is crazy. Really, I don't understand why or how this guy is able to continually threaten Gary with gun violence and continue his YouTube channels. But again, this is a master manipulator, and for some reason that I will never understand, I have tried to wrap my mind around this and I can't. For some reason, there are mothers of children who help this man with his stalking. It's crazy. I'll name who helps him. His partner, Amanda Artaud, a public figure, Artaud's good friend, who I think also has an inappropriate relationship with this man, known as Amber Hall, a public figure known as Carolyn Maubrey. There's so many of you women helping this man. What are you going to do when or if there's a news report of some sort of violence involving this guy? Do you understand that this guy's entire Discord is going to be subpoenaed into a court of law? And you're going to be dragged into court, just so you know.
Okay, I'm going to have my thing ready that if I got to pull and take your life, I will.
So there it is. He just said it. Within the same minute, he mentions Carissa's dad, Gary, and then he talks about pulling the trigger of his firearm and taking the life if he feels he has to. But there's no reason for this man to ever even be in the same city as Gary, really. But that's his intent. This guy's essentially a murderer in plain sight. And this is what a lot of you women who I guess you don't like being moms or whatever, you like hanging out in Discord supporting this. And you think it's a joke, and it's not. Let's replay all that.
In Florida, that is to stand your ground. That's the part. I
Let's
don't
rewind a
have to
little
move
more.
back, right? But at some point, I don't have to retreat. We're in Florida. That is to stand your ground. That's the part. I don't have to retreat. Okay? If at some point, if I deem you as dangerous, which it's already deemed, your daughter said you're going to shoot me. Okay? So I already have it. It's already programmed in here. Okay? I'm going to have my thing ready that if I got to pull and take your life, I will.
I think he's already murdered somebody in the past when I really think about it. It's something about him to where I really think that he definitely has hurt somebody in the past and got away with it. I want all of you to hear that again.
The way I did. Look at the camera. I'm backing up. That person is still engaging towards me. He's still coming towards me, right? But now it's different because Gary's going to shoot me. So if I'm outside and I'm live streaming and Gary comes towards me, I'm going to move back, right? But at some point, I don't have to retreat. We're in Florida. That is to stand your ground. That's the part. I don't have to retreat. Okay? If at some point, if I deem you as dangerous, which it's already deemed, your daughter said you're going to shoot me. Okay? So I already have it. It's already programmed in here. Okay? I'm going to have my thing ready that if I got to pull and take your life, I will.
He's planning on murdering that guy, Gary, in my opinion. That's what I think. And if not him, it'll be someone else in his group. And a lot of the men in his group do have violent histories. They're very abusive people. It's really a coven of ephebophiles and pedophiles. That's what his group is. And anyone who gets in their way, they want to eliminate.
Let the record reflect. I'm being 100. I will. Okay. Now, if you stay your old ass in the house and just let me do my trolling thing, my nigga, and everybody gonna win. Control it.
No. So now he's trying to dictate to Gary what to do. He's telling publicly, Gary, the only way that I won't murder you is if you stay in the house. Now, I don't know how old Gary is. I would assume him to be probably in his 60s or 70s. He's elderly. But why should he constantly be walking on eggshells or be afraid in his own neighborhoods because of this guy? Why has law enforcement not already put this man behind bars? Seriously. Why? I am going to review that body cam footage when this guy was stalking Carissa and her dad and her daughter in Florida, because it needs to be really heard and examined, not just used as entertainment. Mm-mm.
I'm gonna get her donos because people don't like me. I'm gonna get my donos because niggas think it's fucking hilarious.
So again, we're kind of going into him saying, well, as long as I'm getting paid, I won't kill you, which is a form of blackmail or extortion. We're going to rewind this a bit because he's saying to the dad, stay in the house. Let me continue to terrorize your daughter and your granddaughter. And as long as I'm getting donations from people for doing so, I won't follow through with using my firearm against you, potentially killing you. That's the rationale. Okay? There's no getting around it. And wait till you hear the very end of this clip. This guy admits that he received sexual gratification from abusing his targets. He's very sick. And this is what a lot of you are supporting. You don't have to like Carissa. Hell, you can hate me. I don't care when it comes to how any of you feel about me. But the fact that you're willing to help this guy target a little girl, But then again, a lot of you don't believe in God, do you? At the beginning of his streams lately, he's been talking a lot about how he feels God doesn't exist. And he's been demonizing Christians and Christianity. He's evil. And those of you supporting him, you're evil. I'm just going to start calling it as I see it, evil. Pure evil. Those of you out there who are decent, who do believe in God, pray that Carissa, her dad, and her daughter don't end up dealing with this monster. Let's play this again.
Okay, now if you stay your old ass in the house and just let me do my trolling thing, my nigga, and everybody gonna win. Controller gonna get her donos because people don't like me. I'm gonna get my donos because niggas think it's fucking hilarious. Oh, nigga, stay your ass in the house, nigga.
No, there's no reason for this man to even feel that he can dictate to anyone what to do. Gary does not have to stay in the house. That's Gary's house. To my knowledge, this old man over here that you see on the screen, he doesn't have a house. I don't think he has much of anything. All he does is abuse people and get sexual gratification from it. And you heard what he said. He's like, oh, people don't like me will donate, and people who think this is funny will donate. No, they will not donate. It's time to report this guy to Cash App and whatever other platforms he uses to receive donations when it comes to him using threats of violence to generate donations. I am pretty sure that would be against quite a few financial platforms' TOS. We can cut his money off.
That bitch is gonna get you shot and killed. Okay, stay your old ass in the house, nigga. You don't want no fucking problems.
See, you see the way he said that? He's saying that Carissa is going to get Gary shot and killed. No, it's not Carissa. It's you wanting Carissa's daughter, Zaya. You going over to her residences uninvited, and now you're threatening to murder her dad. That's what you're freaking doing.
You shot and killed. Okay?
I mean, that's crazy. And I will post this whole thing uninterrupted in its entirety so that people who want to contact authorities in regards, because the more people who contact authorities at this point, the better. because this guy, he's getting ready to move, I can tell, and he's getting ready to hurt somebody.
Me, I'm gonna get my donos because niggas think it's fucking hilarious. Oh, nigga, stay your ass in the house, nigga. That bitch is gonna get you shot and killed. Okay, stay your old ass in the house, nigga. You don't want no fucking problems. Okay, and you don't want to die, nigga. You don't want to go to jail. Like, let's be for real. Let that.
I mean, he's talking about death. He's talking about going to jail. Why should he? Why should Gary go to jail or die? Maybe that should be your outcome, Zaya, not Gary's. I don't know what kind of person Gary is, nor do I care. I know that he's a granddad, and I know that he's a dad. And he's actually involved in his daughter and granddaughter's life. This guy that you see on the screen, he's also a dad, but he was not a good dad. He was not involved in his kid's life. And the only reason that he was involved in other kids' lives was to hurt those kids and abuse their mothers. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less.
That nigga live in peace. Okay, imagine how much peaceful his life would if he didn't have controller and her fucking daughter. I got to include the daughter because the daughter's a pain in the ass, right?
Now he's saying that Carissa's daughter is a pain in the ass. You've never met her daughter. I don't think anyone on the internet has ever met her daughter. Maybe one person, but how would you know if her daughter is a pain in the ass? But see, you're trying to normalize that little girl already having a negative reputation because your intent, Zaya, is to abuse her daughter. I've already figured you out. I've also figured out that you have the intent to murder me. I would rather be the one murdered opposed to Gary, Carissa, or the other targets because I'm not a parent. But this guy, he has a gun for a reason. He's not a police officer. He's not a law enforcement officer. He's not in the military, nothing. He has the gun as a way to stalk and intimidate and threaten people that are able to expose him. And that's what a lot of you seem to think is funny and that you support. I know everything I'm saying is probably falling upon deaf ears. That's fine. But this dude, he's going to end up hurting somebody because we've seen this pattern before. And he can't stop. He's addicted to what he's doing.
Right? Imagine the life that Gary could live if he didn't have to fucking be paying attention to this fucking burden. Controller, you're a fucking burden, nigga. 40 years old, burden on your fucking daddy. You're gonna get that nigga killed. Okay? I'm only gonna
See, he said it again. That Carissa's going to get Gary killed. He keeps talking about Gary being killed. No. Gary's not going to be killed. And neither is Carissa. If you want to kill somebody, then you need to go after somebody who is able to fight back and who isn't afraid of you. You do that. You leave Gary, Carissa, and her dad alone. You think that Zaya is a burden to the taxpayers? He's a burden to a lot of people.
kill the nigga if the nigga tries to kill me. That's it. If you know, if
But
he's
why would Gary try to kill you unless you approach, unless you keep stalking him? And that's what you've been doing, Zaya. You have that weird Artod around you. If you feel a certain way about me, make a police report. The more reports that are made against me, the better. Now, of course, if you make a police report, you're going to have to give your name and all that kind of stuff. But that's what I want you to do. Go down to your local precinct and make a police report against me. Good. You should make another one. Do it tomorrow.
Stay to his side, I'm gonna stay to my side. I don't want no problems with him, and I don't give a fuck for the fucking 1,000th time about your fucking daughter, nigga. I want you, nigga. I want to make you uncomfortable. I want to piss you off. I want to make you spurred because it gets my fucking dick hard. Okay.
And there you go. He said it gets his effing dick hard for him to make his threats. But yeah, anyone who wants to make any police reports against me, go ahead. Please do. Please do. I agree with you. YouTube shouldn't allow their platform for what he and others are doing on it. I know. But they do. And I don't know why. I don't really even, it's to the point to where I really don't want to be on YouTube anymore. It's getting to that point. Because it is weird that they would let him keep going. It really is. Let's rewind this a bit. I want you all to hear from about right here.
Okay, I think it's fucking hilarious. Oh, nigga, stay your ass in the house, nigga. That bitch is gonna get you shot and killed. Okay, stay your old ass in the house, nigga. You don't want no fucking problems. Okay, and you don't want to die, nigga. You don't want to go to jail. Like, let's be for real. Let that old nigga live in peace. Okay, imagine how much peaceful his life would be if he didn't have controller and her fucking daughter. I got to include the daughter because the daughter's a pain in the ass.
It's weird that he would say that the daughter is a pain in the ass. It's weird. See, that's just what he thinks about kids. That's just him. And then he has that sexual attraction to minors too. You're saying he's I'm not sure what you mean by this. Zaya is what, like mid 40? Yeah, he's like 44. But I think he's actually older. I think that whoever his immigrant parents are, they brought him into the United States. They probably pushed his birthday back by 3 to 4 years. I think he's actually closer to 50. Never put that safety off. Look, I don't really know what you mean by that, but he's dangerous, and whenever you see him with that backpack, there's a gun in it.
Right? Imagine the life that Gary could live if he didn't have to fucking be paying attention to this fucking burden. Controller, you're a fucking burden, nigga. 40 years old, burden on your fucking daddy. You're gonna get that nigga killed. Okay, I'm only gonna.
And she's not going to get her dad killed. You just have the intent of killing him from what you're saying in this. That's what it is. So I wanted to go over that. Let's go ahead and play this all the way through so that you all can hear the totality of his mindset.
When you see me with the camera and the nigga's giving me smoke, nigga, I'm moving back. I'm moving back. I'm moving back. You know why? Because at some point in time, that footage is going to save me. The officer is going to say, but I'm saying, though, like, what was going on? Like, couldn't you be remember the officer Walker? Couldn't you be the bigger man? And walked away. I did. Look at the camera. I'm backing up. That person is still engaging towards me. He's still coming towards me. Right? But now it's different because Gary's going to shoot me. So if I'm outside and I'm live streaming and Gary comes towards me, I'm going to move back, right? But at some point, I don't have to retreat. We're in Florida. That is to stand your ground. That's the part. I don't have to retreat, okay? If at some point, if I deem you as dangerous, which it's already deemed, your daughter said you're going to shoot me, okay? So I already have it. It's already programmed in here, okay? I'm going to have my thing ready that if I got to pull and take your life, I will. Let the record reflect. I'm being 100. I will. Okay. Now, if you stay your old ass in the house and just let me do my trolling thing, my nigga. And everybody gonna win. Controller gonna get her donos because people don't like me. I'm gonna get my donos because niggas think it's fucking hilarious. Oh, nigga, stay your ass in the house, nigga. That bitch is gonna get you shot and killed. Okay, stay your old ass in the house, nigga. You don't want no fucking problems. Okay, and you don't want to die, nigga. You don't want to go to jail. Like, let's be for real. Let that old nigga live in peace. Okay, imagine how much peaceful his life would be if he didn't have controller and her fucking daughter. I got to include the daughter because the daughter's a pain in the ass, right? Imagine the life that Gary could live if he didn't have to fucking be paying attention to this fucking burden. Controller, you're a fucking burden, nigga. 40 years old, burden on your fucking daddy. You're gonna get that nigga killed. Okay, I'm only gonna kill the nigga if the nigga tries to kill me. That's it. If you know, if he stayed to his side, I'm gonna stay to my side. I don't want no problems with him, and I don't give a fuck for the fucking 1,000th time about your fucking daughter, nigga. I want you, nigga. I want to make you uncomfortable. I want to piss you off. I want to make you spurred because it gets my fucking dick hard. Okay.
So that's weird, isn't it? It's scary. It's real scary. It's real scary. Now I'm going to go ahead and play, just as a review, the initial direct threats against Gary that I heard and that I clipped. I want you all to hear this. Public figure Gary DiBenedetto is likely in danger of being physically assaulted or worse by Carissa's online associate and public figure Zaya, aka Victor DeLeon. DeLeon has already physically stalked the elderly man known as Gary at his home in Staten Island. DeLeon's apparent objective is to gain access to Carissa's daughter. DeLeon has a history of being an ephebophile in regards to a girl he groomed from age 16, known as Katie.
Now, Peppy's imagine, right? Because like Higgins don't take this into consideration, right? She told me that I could not pull up down there, and if I did, Gary was going to shoot me. What if I would have came down there, locked and loaded, ready to shoot? Because if I'm thinking correctly, I don't think that I had the Hellcat at this point.
You didn't have it yet.
I didn't have a gun at this point. So I pulled up. What if I would have been someone else and I would have pulled up with a gun, thinking that there's going to be some type of action, and then I end up forcing the action between me and Gary?
So again, I mean, this was the initial thing that I just happened to hear, and I was like, huh. But then the next day, he started threatening Gary again. But I'm just showing this to you because he has a pattern, and he's not going to stop. He gets the sexual gratification from what he's saying and doing, and the threats and whatnot, and the targeting, the harassment, the premeditated stalking. But he's also getting money from doing it, from his sicko fan base. He's I think because he's gotten away with so much criminal activity, he thinks he's untouchable. That's what I think it is, HG6 TV 23. And he's old now, still trying to act like he's young. So he's desperate. He doesn't really have a lot of options, like what he's doing, like what else would he do, really? But that's why he won't stop.
This fat bitch is the one that makes it happen. It's her fucking mouth. She keeps on running her fucking mouth, playing with me, right? When in all actuality, my nigga, like, you shouldn't be playing with no one like that on the internet. You just shouldn't. You don't know. You don't know what could happen. I could have pulled up and smoked you, your fucking dad, everybody.
So again, he's talking about smoking, in other words, murdering Carissa, her dad, and whoever else is around her. This is horrible. He thinks it's a game. It's not a game. You don't think he has a soul? He talks often about how he doesn't believe God exists. So, you know.
Okay? You told me I couldn't pull up or I would get shot. Wrong!
I agree with you, HG6 TV 23. He seems mad that Carissa has a father. I agree. But the dad is who's standing in the way between Zaya and Carissa, but also Zaya and Carissa's daughter. He's afraid of males. But Gary is elderly. He's older. You don't ever see this guy go toe to toe with anyone in his age range. Only elderly or really vulnerable women. I feel bad for you, Mary J. I really do. Because you are a good clipper when it comes to certain things, but I think you're just evil. That's what I think about you. Unfortunately, the Streamers of the Month project didn't work out in the way that I intended it to work out. But maybe it wasn't supposed to. I don't care if you define me as a lol cow. I don't care if you define me as an N-word with the hard R. I don't care what you think about me, Mary J. But I'm going to tell you what I think about you. I think that you're somebody who is likely a sociopath. You don't seem to have any sort of feeling for exactly who is really being hurt in this equation. Is Carissa's daughter. It's kind of like you want her to be hurt, and my question would be why? But being that you feel the way that you feel about me, Mary J., here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to block you. I'm never going to communicate with you, and you can go ahead and proceed to think or say whatever you want to say about me. But if you want to enable or justify or normalize this monster that you see on the screen threatening an elderly man, then you do that on your channel, okay? Do it on your channel, not mine.
Well, she actually said you'd leave in a body bag.
Wrong! I'm saying, nigga, you know? And guess what? Look, you see how confident I'm talking, right? You see the confidence in my talking, right? You see me confident in saying that I'm going to do it again? Imagine. Because you didn't deliver, I'm over cocky now. I'm going to pull up and do it again. And again, and again, and again.
So you hear what he's saying. He feels unstoppable. He thinks he can do what he wants to do whenever he wants to, over and over, without repercussions. He also is slow and sometimes fails to learn from his mistakes. That's the number one trait of a criminal. So all we can really do is get the word out about this because for some reason law enforcement doesn't want to act as they should in this situation.
Go tell Gary to get his fucking gun. Because this ain't going to end, my nigga. All right, we're pulling up to Controller's crib now.
And see, here he is actually streaming going to Carissa's house. Yeah. He's taken it pretty far. Pretty far. And he will do anything to be able to continue doing what he's doing. Anyone he can get away with murdering or killing to continue doing what he wants to do, he will. Now, I'm going to go ahead and go through a little document from the AI in regards to this because I'm kind of singling Carissa out, but what I'm about to show you and read to a lot of you, it applies to many of you who are parents that choose to live stream, but also individuals who choose to live stream and who have had negative implications in your real life due to your streaming. It's just something I want some of you to think about. Let me make this large to where I can see it. Okay. I'm just going to read it. It's from the AI. Carissa's mindset of her situation being just online drama is the single biggest danger in this entire situation. When someone treats a violent, unstable person with a gun as if he's, quote, just an online troll, end quote, they lose the ability to judge risk realistically. And when a person in that mindset is responsible for a child and an elderly parent, their denial becomes harmful, not just misguided. Here's what typically sits under that kind of it's just online drama delusion. And I want to say it's not only Carissa. This is her situation, but there's some other people who are involved in the live streaming who routinely receive threats and whatnot, who don't take it seriously. It's almost like sometimes the person making the threats to you manages to condition you, the target, the victim, into thinking to yourself, oh, well, maybe I'm overreacting. That's called gaslighting. Okay. I don't think Carissa has reacted enough. When it comes to certain things I've contended with, I definitely haven't reacted enough. I see things a lot of people contend with and they haven't reacted enough. But it's to the point to where online drama, it's not just drama, it's real life. And in this particular case, there's a kid involved. So, you know, I'm just going to read it. Why she may think it's just online drama. Understanding the psychology helps you approach her more effectively. Number one, she may crave the attention or adrenaline from the conflict. Not in a narcissistic way necessarily, but sometimes people in stressful lives find online drama feels exciting or distracting or validating, and it gives them a source of community. It can be addictive. We do see that also with that woman Beta. Source of community seems to be the main factor for women, whereas the distraction and the validation seems to be the main factor for the men. Also, people who have a history of being extreme or extensive drug addicts or substance abusers do tend to be more likely to diminish the severity of online threats in order to be able to keep streaming to feed their addiction of the streaming. Number two, she may underestimate the threat because, quote, nothing has happened yet. A lot of people do this. They use absence of violence as proof of safety. It's faulty logic, but emotionally comforting. Number three, she may believe live streaming gives her power. Being on camera can give us false sense of control, protection, audience support, and witnesses. People mistakenly think that being public makes them safe. Reality, it often makes them more exposed. Number four, she may not want to face the consequences of admitting danger. If she admits it's serious, She would then be forced to, number one, stop live streaming. And as we know, Carissa doesn't want to stop live streaming. That's why the situation has escalated as it has. But there are people who have realized that she's addicted to the live streaming and they're using that to their advantage. That is what this guy Zaya is doing and why he feels so emboldened not only to threaten her, but to threaten her entire family. All right. It would also lead her to have to change her routine, take security measures, involve police, change her online identity. These steps feel overwhelming, so denial is easier. Number 5, she may feel psychologically superior to him. She may think he won't actually do anything. He's all talk. He's scared of me. He's just trying to get attention. This false confidence is extremely common in victims who later realize the threat was real. Why you're seeing delusion, not just bad judgment. Her behavior puts her child and father at risk. Her refusal to stop despite clear dangers suggests impaired reality testing, not just stubbornness. This kind of mental state usually means she's emotionally invested with the conflict. The online feud is fulfilling a psychological need. She's disconnected from real world consequences. She has normalized escalating danger over time. This is not typical behavior from someone grounded in reality. So here's the final AI advice to her directly. If she were willing to listen, here's the straight truth she needs to hear. You're playing a dangerous game with a man who doesn't need much reason to escalate. You may think you're safe behind a screen, but he has already crossed into the real world. Your daughter and your father are depending on you, so stop feeding this situation. You're not in control of him, but you are in control of whether you keep provoking him. Stop now before this becomes a situation you can't undo. So, yeah. Look, everyone can unsubscribe from me. I'm okay with it. I think everyone should unsubscribe from me. Everyone should file police reports on me. Maybe all of you should buy guns and go on Zaya's channel and threaten to murder me. Why not? Why don't you all from this day forth call me an N-word with the hard R and do everything that I just said? You'll probably get away with it. Seriously. Probably will. So, everyone unsubscribe. Everyone threaten me. Everyone engage in your racism. Everyone quickly retreat to the Zaya Discord and plot what you're going to do next. Go for it. So that's it for today. I'm going to go ahead and get going. I just wanted to share that information. There's more information I have. A lot more. And I'll share it as I feel the need. But I feel like this situation involving these threats against that granddad and dad, Gary, I think it's an emergency. The AI thinks that it's a major emergency. But I personally think it's an emergency. And I do hope God steps in and does something to Zaya. I really do. Sooner rather than later. Because it's not right what he's doing. Not only to Carissa, but to a lot of people. But then again, Evil is a real thing. It wasn't somehow, it was God. God didn't want me to die that day. Bye-bye.